is Universal Yums time. You may notice that this audio clearly doesn't match whatever I'm saying on the screen. Fun fact, totally forgot to turn on the audio recording when opening this box, so it's going to be me basically dubbing over everything I'm doing in this video, which is going to be really awkward, but hey, I'm going to do what I can. This month, we got Austria! Ta-da! Austria box. So it's going to be very interesting because, who knows what Austria has in there. I was actually quite surprised because there was a lot of different things. As usual, we have our card with all the fun things where you can put your smiley faces, name areas in Austria, and figure out a clue to the next thing. Got our little booklet there that I will be reading from again. And there's a giant pizza on the top. Pizza rolls, rather. Which were actually quite interesting in the end. Let us start with the usual stuff. I don't know what I'm saying in this video, so it's going to be very interesting. Mahlzeit. I don't know what that says, or what it means. No, we didn't sneeze. Mahlzeit means mealtime and is typically said before eating to wish fellow diners an enjoyable meal, or box of yums. If you want to eat these yums like a real Austrian, there's only one thing you need to do: clear your calendar. Austrians can spend hours eating a meal, talking, drinking, and cherishing every bite. There's a lot to cherish in this month's box, so why not schedule a whole night to go through it? Or we have an even better idea, why not put on The Sound of Music while you're enjoying this month's yums? Stereotypical much? You can watch the movie, try some Austrian snacks, and then read more about the real Von Trapp family on page 9 of this booklet. Wow, you're still reading. You'd better get started eating. This is Austria after all, and if you're going to do as the Austrians do, this could take hours. It didn't, because I always split everything up, but you already know that. Moving ahead. A lot of things looked interesting in this box. I was very intrigued by that one in particular. It had like caramely, snacky deliciousness written all over it. And in fact, the bulk majority of this box was pretty much all chocolate, except for I think maybe about 2 things, which was quite nice because I do adore chocolate. And it's not hard to entice me to, pick something up and shove it in my mouth when it's made of nothing but chocolate. So I decided, I don't know why I'm saying we, I'm the only one here eating candies, but we decided, as I say we again, there's something wrong with my brain. Anyway, this is I'm going to have to try and pronounce it again. The Pischinger Haselnuss-Regel. In 1849, the Austrian baker Oskar Pischinger found a great fortune with a very simple creation. His moneymaker, a super thin light wafer cookie that flew off the shelves during the late 1800s. The wafers were a crucial part of a beloved cake recipe called the Pischinger Torte. To make the cake, his thin wafers were laid on top of each other, with a delicate coating of chocolate spread between each wafer. After a stack of 12 wafers was added, they were covered in a melted chocolate coating to finish off the cake. With this chocolate treat, you'll get a taste of the original torte, upgraded, and fresh roasted hazelnuts, and a convenient on-the-go format. So they took a cake, and they put it into not quite candy bar form, I suppose, but lots of wafery crunchiness with soft, happy chocolatiness involved. And that's always a good combination. Because, chocolate. I don't know what else you guys want from me. This is really awkward, I'll have you know. I have no idea what I'm saying on this screen. This is super weird. Also, you might hear my chair squeak, and I apologize for that. And as usual, I have to have, I have to wrestle with the packaging. This is the Pischinger Haselnuss-Regel. Hazelnuts. So as you can see, it's got this nice sort of crunchy exterior going on. And since I have no actual sound, I'm just gonna make it up. It's very good. It actually was really good. The chocolate was pretty, it was soft and happy. You could kind of try to see the wafer. It's really literally just layers of different waferage, and then the chocolate with the hazelnuts involved. So, not quite like, my brain stopped. What's that hazelnut spread? Oh my god, my brain doesn't work anymore. Sort of like that, but, not quite. It was really good. It was pretty tasty. So I was quite intrigued with the pizza rolls here, as I started to put everything away, because I was looking at it and I realized there's a little man on here, and he looks an awful lot like Uncle Sam. And it threw me off, and then I realized everything is kind of like red, white, and blue, and I'm like, why is this Uncle Sam dude on these pizza rolls? It's kind of confusing. Am I missing something? What's going on? And then I realized it's new American style pizza rolls, and it was just the funniest thing to me, because I'm like, classic, typical let's make an American flavored equals pizza. So why not? Pizza rolls. So, you know, next time I had the chance, the pizza rolls were next, obviously. These were the official Kelly's American pizza rolls. After World War II, an American soldier named Major Howard Moores Kelly decided that instead of returning to America after the war, he would stay in Austria. He and his Austrian business partner, Herbert Rast, founded the American Popcorn Company in 1955. So for several years, they experimented to find the right snack for the Austrian market. First they tried popcorn, then chips, then cookies, then nuts, then pretzels. Their experimentation paid off. They scored a huge hit with a salty pretzel stick called Soletti, which is the most popular pretzel brand in Austria today. The company continues to experiment, as evidenced by these unique corn puffs, meant to taste like, quote, American pizza. Why did we decide to send you an American flavor from Austria? That was the question I wanted to know. I was like, wait, what? If it's American, I don't want it. I want the Austrian goodies. Why you send me these things? I don't get it. But anyway, we think it's a fitting flashback to the company's start by an American founder. I still don't get it. And because they're awesome. But I still want Austrian goodies. Whatever. We open it up. I open it up. Why do I keep saying we? Clearly I have more people in my head. This is strange. But that's okay. They definitely smelled like, not like pizza, but kind of like a tomatoey sauce sort of thing was going on in there. So I guess maybe the sauce on the pizza, perhaps? Hard to say. But because it wasn't like 100% pizza sauce. It's interesting. Anyway, pop it in the mouth, crunched up. So tasty good. It was interesting, as usual. Typical word I use when I can't quite pin down the flavor of what I'm eating, where it's like, it's not bad, but it's not super awesome. It was just like, huh, this is different. What do I do about this? Keep trying it, keep eating it. They were good though. They had like a little bit of spice. I wouldn't say... I mean, I'll be honest, I don't eat a lot of pizza-flavored things, so I don't really have anything to compare those to. But they were still, you know, fairly good once I got used to them. And I kept eating them. I think I ate the whole bag, actually. Like, eventually, once this cuts off. But pretty sure I ate the whole bag, and it started to get really spicy towards the end, which was fine. So there's a lot of kind of oregano-y, which isn't necessarily on pizza, I guess. But a little bit of oregano-y type stuff, flavoring, a little bit of zip and pep. Couldn't really taste the cheese, I guess you could say, on the pizza. Is a thing. Is, you know, not something I'd normally eat, really. But it's still quite enjoyable. Hello! Guess what we're eating? It's the first one I pulled out of the package. Oh! It just looked really good. I don't know why. Something about it. It wasn't that big. It was just like this little doodad thingy. But this was the Pischinger Mandel-Ick, or Ecke. It was E-C-K-E. Ecke. Ecke? Ecke. Anywho. See? Look at it. Even though it's not really all that focused. It still looked really good. This one actually had the shortest paragraph out of this entire booklet, because the whole booklet was just full of giant paragraphs. So, that was nice. Anywho, if you're someone who always goes after the corner piece, you'll love this. Ecke means corner in German, and this little wafer is meant to represent the tiny sliver that would have made up the best part of Oskar Pischninger's famous torte cake. Also, I noticed, very into the torte things. Lots of tortage happening. Fine almond cream is sandwiched between layers of wafers for a delightful chocolate treat. Also wafers. A lot of waferage happening. So let's open it up. See, look, a little corner piece. A lot of little pizza. Chocolate pizza with happiness going on there. Look at it dancing. Oh, it's so good. I'm exaggerating, of course. I just ate it like a normal human being, but that's boring. Especially when you're doing a voiceover and you have to make this shit up as you go, and I'm just gonna like, you know, we're just gonna say what I want. But it was kind of similar to the other wafer one, where it was basically chocolate with wafers and cream involved. Except this time it was it was almondy instead of hazelnutty. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. It's a pretty simple little snack. I kind of wonder if these come in like bags, like little snack bites like this come in like a full bag, or do they package them like cookies maybe, where you have like a whole row of those. See, can you see the wafers? Sort of. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Look at that. So pretty. But seriously, how would you package those? Because I would just eat them like cookies, which would probably be bad. Probably shouldn't do that. I would, though. It'd be so good. But the chocolate was really good too. It's very fine, very milk chocolatey deliciousness. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Good times all around. Hello, we're back again with the mustache shirt. This time we'll be eating. Wait for it, because I don't remember. I'm literally watching this and making all of this up as I go. Wait for it. Ah, the Torteneken. Ah, yes, my terrible accent. Torteneken was it was big. In case that image there I didn't give it away. It was quite the sizable thing. So, but this is the. Oh yeah, the our Torteneken Apfelstrudel, which I thought was funny, as I mentioned there. You can see my hands up going in parentheses. They have apple strudel to let you know that Apfelstrudel is apple strudel, even though that's probably the most recognizable word I would think in this entire booklet. Anywho, there's an old Austrian proverb that goes, first bake the strudel, then sit down and ponder. You might ask, what is there to ponder? Here are a few ideas. First, you can ponder the fact that the apple strudel was making wave in Austria's culinary scene long before the United States even became a country. The Viennese, Viennese? Am I pronouncing that right? Viennese? Sounds, I don't know, it sounds awkward to me. Anyway, their city library is home to the oldest known apple strudel recipe, which dates back to 1696. That is a very old recipe. Or, suggestion number 2, you can ponder the similarities between apple strudel and baklava, the Greek dessert that inspired Austrians to reinvent their tasty treat. Or, best of all, ponder how long you can make this apple strudel wafer last. We've pondered this ourselves and have always finished eating it before we could come to any good conclusions. So it was divvied up into slices. Once I carefully opened this, there was lots of crumblies. It's very crumbly. Apfelstrudel. I enjoyed it very much. It's very appley. Like I opened it up and it was just like, ooh, I can smell them apples. But the square, it's a whole square package and it was divided up into triangleage. Hence the square hand gestures there, as you can see. As I slowly kind of worked my way in there and tried to pull it out. Gently, carefully. This will happen. Don't worry about it. My confusion as to what is happening and how it's broken up. I think it's because I thought it was one giant square thingy, and then was like, look at the, what's going on here? Hold on. We're going to open it. Don't worry about it. We'll get this in my mouth. It's going to happen. There we go. Ta-da! So each one was a triangle and it made up a whole square. Smells like apples. Crumbles. Just crumbling. So good. It was very good. It's more wafers. I started to wonder about then if Austria... Do you guys have a thing for wafers? Is wafer snacks, is that a thing? Like the popularity of wafer snackage? Because there's a whole lot of these in here. We're all wafers. The apple strudel, the regel, the ecke, the... Maybe that was it. There's just a lot of waferage. It's very good. Had that nice appley cream happening in the middle there. It's just a happy wafery snack. So good and delicious, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I ate a couple, and then I ended up closing up the package. Oh, see, enjoying all the bits and pieces. So good. Love me my snacks. And then I just saved the other 2 for later because it was very, very appley. So eating the whole thing would have been like almost too much sweetened apple dessertiness at once. So I just ate the 2 squares, and then I put the other ones away, and I just ate them later, because why wouldn't I? It's so good. Maybe the next day. But it's pretty tasty. Just eat it up. Tasty good. Get some milk with it, maybe. The tiny dog was staring at me. There he is. Just staring. Every time I have food, he's just like, I'm sorry, did you have something that I can have too? I heard a crackling package. I would like to be involved in this. I would like to try some. Whether or not it is good for me, I will decide that. Never mind that you're the human. If it's something I can eat, please put it in my mouth so I can have it in my belly and enjoy it. I mean, if I had lettuce, I'd give him lettuce. We've all seen that the little dog enjoys lettuce, because he's a total weirdo. Just the strangest little thing. Never understand that. But it makes for a good happy snack, so in case I ever run out of dog treats, it's like, hey, I got some lettuce, why don't you have some of that? Wow. Enjoy the lettuce. Still eating the tort. The apple strudel, oh, there goes the rest. Tasty good. But that was quite enjoyable, despite the fact that the dog was staring at me the entire time. You kind of learn to ignore it. He's just there, like a little gargoyle, just lurking, just creeping on the edge of the bed, just staring at you with his bug eyes, like, just waiting for you to drop bits and pieces. Although there were bits and pieces all over the floor, so I kind of had to vacuum because, like I said, it's very crumbly. And he's not as good as vacuuming up crumbs as my other dog was. He tends to miss things. He doesn't use his nose. He gets way too excited about everything and just kind of runs around like an idiot and completely misses all the things, whereas my other dog would have gotten every little teeny tiny crumbly in the world, because she's like a vacuum detective dog finding all the crumbs. But, you know, such is life. I'm stuck with the tiny sausage thing. You know. Oh girl, look at that. Look at how fancy I am. Fancy. Fancy with my green earrings. Oh hey, this is the coconut macaroon. It's the Blaschke macaroons. Coconut macaroons, by the way. Look at, I look good. Green eyeshadow, green earrings. Backstab lipstick. Ooh, that's what it's called, by the way. I buy the lipstick with the cool names. I don't play around. I don't want, you know, sugar plum or whatever. It's backstab. I got another one named Pandemonium. That's the purple one. Yeah, anywho. Coconut macaroons, giant paragraph. Let's do this. Typically, candle makers aren't the people who... Wait, hold on. Reading is hard. Behind the best desserts in the world. Well, most candle makers aren't. Johann Blaschke, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, Austria. A gingerbread baker, candle maker, and coconut macaroon maker. Say that 3 times fast. I know! I will not. I'm already doing a voiceover, and this is weird enough as it is. Moving along, he was different. In the early 1920s, he turned his coconut macaroon venture into an empire, thanks to the suggestion of a friendly salesman. The salesman suggested dipping his coconut macaroons in chocolate. Why you wouldn't think to do that in the first place is beyond me, because everything dipped in chocolate is better. Anywho, where am I? I've lost my place on this. Hold on. To create... Wait, yes. He took the advice to heart. To create the perfect dipped 3-layer macaroon, he used a wafer base. More wafers, you guys. See, I'm not making this shit up. For support, and fine chocolate cream to hold it all together. In 1982, the Austrian government granted them the power to display the national coat of arms on their advertising. Their famous macaroons are now one of the top-selling sweets in Austria. To make matters even sweeter, this is the first time ever, in all caps, that these top-selling... I already read that. Haha, that these famous macaroons have been available in the US. Open it up, and yes, you can see... So it's not like wholly dipped, it's just like partially dipped, which I thought. And there's your wafer, as per usual, Austria. You wafer crazies. But I do love me some coconut, so I was very intrigued by this one. So yes, it's coconut macaroon on top, and it's the, just kind of the soft, squishy, coconutty happiness right up there. Look at it, it's good. And then you got your chocolate creaminess hanging on to the wafer at the bottom. So you got your chocolate is your glue, and then you just dip it in. It's pretty good. Now the thing there with this was that I think because the wafer was chilling with that chocolate cream, and then dipped, and probably the macaroon had something to do with it too. It wasn't like crunchy like a lot of the other wafers. It was a little bit softer. Like it had a little bit more moisture involved, which was kind of awkward in my mouth. Used to the wafers being crunchy and happy and delicious. Not to say that this wasn't delicious, it's just the texture kind of threw me off because it wasn't as crunchy. I even started debating whether or not the wafer was real. Real. Is the wafer real? Is the spoon Neo? If the wafer was necessary, dip your... Yes, you get rid of the wafer. See, that's what I'm saying. Get rid of the wafer. Hand motions. Ditch it. And just cover your macaroon in chocolate. I mean, you don't need to glue it to a wafer. Just cover that sucker in chocolate and you got a winner. Ain't nothing wrong with a macaroon covered in chocolate. Like I said, you cover anything, chocolate's great. Alright, we'll be honest, it's not everything covered in chocolate is great. Some of it's just awkward. Alright, okay. But when we're talking macaroons and coconut and chocolate, man, they're best pals. So it's gonna be tasty. So that one, you can't mess it up. If you mess it up, you're probably doing something wrong. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh wait, hold on, I'm not chewing now. So this is weird. I want you to know this is weird. That's so good. Yeah, it was kind of melting a little bit because it was like soft milk chocolate. But it's really good. I enjoyed it. It's very tasty. Very, very delish. Very yum. Hello, we're back, and this time it's going to be Mozart. Oh, it's upside down, it's up, or right side up. There we go. Mozart candies. Mozart chocolate. Mozart! We all know Mozart. If you don't know Mozart, you should probably look that stuff up. It's kind of, like, you know, important. That's sort of a historical thing. But he was one of the last two things I had, and this was the pronunciation Heindl Mozartkugel. I assume. I mean my pronunciation. So why is Mozart's face on this chocolate? Why is it named for him? Did he love eating chocolate while composing his symphonies? Let us explain. At the time, it was common for business owners in Europe to name their products for famous people who were born in the region where the product was invented. Mozart was born in Salzburg, Austria, where these chocolates were first created. After hundreds of failed iterations, a man named Paul Fürst created the Mozart bonbon. The secret formula he spent years perfecting? A pistachio marzipan ball covered in nougat and dipped in dark chocolate. He was good at making chocolate, but unfortunately he wasn't good at securing patents. Other confectionaries throughout Austria quickly began making their own Mozartkugel. Today, dozens of these are made in Austria, but this one is our favorite. Rich pistachio marzipan sits atop a whipped hazelnut chocolate cream, all covered in delicious dark chocolate. So, more chocolate. This box pleased me just because of all the chocolate. Granted, I do love my diversity. I do love all kinds of things. There's little bonbon. But chocolate does make me happy. Try to bite that in half for you so you can see all the happy innards. A nice clean half in section so you can see the pistachio marzipan on top and then all the goodies on the bottom with the coated chocolate around it. I also realized that, you know, I don't think we don't have a lot of marzipan over here. We don't do marzipan. I'm not really sure why that is. That's exactly what I'm talking about right now. You see the word? Yeah, see? Why don't I don't know other me. I don't know why we don't do marzipan. It's tasty, it's good, and there are all sorts of different flavors. I mean, this is freaking pistachio. Which took me a little bit to kind of wrap my brain around because it's been a long time since I had pistachios. I should go buy a bag just to enjoy them because they're very good. I like pistachios. Quite much. But there's like apricot marzipan, all kinds of other marzipan, and yeah. Though the chocolate started peeling off, so I started just messing around with it because that's what I do. So I was like, maybe if I'll nibble some off and do this and that and taste bits and pieces by themselves. So, but yeah, the pistachio, it was like, huh, I've never had marzipan pistachio, which is the entire point of the box. But it's just hard for my brain to like, what am I eating? What is happening? Oh. But it was still really good because, I mean, happy deliciousness in my face. You can't go wrong with that. As I ponder the meaning of life and how the flavors mix together while eating delicious. I want you to know, this video is awkward. I apologize. It's very awkward doing it. Now this is Sissy daughter. She's also chocolate. Lots of chocolates. I had two of the Mozarts and two of the Sissies. This is the biggest paragraph, I think, in this entire doodad, so let's go. Sissy, the namesake of this candy, was born in 1837 in Bavarian royalty. Because of this, her sister, Helen, was promised to marry Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph, and Sissy went with her on her trip to meet him. During that meeting, Franz Joseph decided he wanted to marry Sissy instead. Kinda rude dude, but whatever. They were engaged within 5 days, wow, and married 8 months later. Royalty surprises no one, and thus Sissy became Empress Elizabeth of Austria. Well, unfortunately, her mother-in-law was a controlling person who would not let her raise any of her children. Rude! She wouldn't even let her name them. Wow, still rude. I forgot this story. That's really... she sucks. Anyway, to escape her mother-in-law, she traveled extensively throughout Europe and spent much of her time in Hungary, where she and her husband were eventually crowned king and queen in June 1867. Sissy was the major force in creating this dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary, which eventually dissolved in 1918. I think we all know why. More than her political influence, Sissy is remembered for her obsession with her own beauty, which is perhaps why she inspired such an exquisite treat. Apricot marzipan, see, more marzipan, is enveloped in chocolate truffle cream for a true stunner of a chocolate. Look for Sissy's face on the label and even on the chocolate inside. She was a one-of-a-kind person, and it's fitting because this is a one-of-a-kind treat. Tastes delicious. And you can kind of see in this shot her face imprinted on the chocolate, as long as well as her name. But more milk chocolate here with more marzipan, in this case apricot. See, look at it, ooey gooey. Delicious in every way. soft and happy. Tasted good. Marzipan has a very unique texture to it. I don't want to say gritty. I don't really have a good way of putting it. But there is some kind of something happening in there. Grit makes it sound like there's nonsense in it and bad things, but I don't know, it's not like smooth like a truffle or like milk chocolate or like all the weird stuff you find in the gamble chocolates of Valentine's Day. Which, now that I think about it, I don't think any of those have marzipan in them either. Huh. That's disappointing. Gamble chocolates suck. But this was pretty good. I enjoyed it a great deal. Especially kind of just, and you know, taking my time on the apricot marzipan itself. Just eating away. Look at all that gooiness and happiness in there. Look at it! Look at it! Can't go wrong. Just, tastes good. I'll eat it all. All the time. Candy. 24/7. See? So good. Ow. I like it all the things. All the time. So now that we're at the end of this whole shebang, this is next month's clue. This is the land where the sun always rises, where the yums are kawaii and full of surprises. On this wild adventure, you'll have to be brave, but at the end we promise there'll be new yums to crave. It didn't take me long to figure this out, like at all. I'd actually looked at this beforehand and kind of flipped it in the back, and I saw the words sun always rises and the word kawaii, and I was like, well, clearly we're going to Japan. And I've decided to up my yums box to the $25 box in order to get double the yums because I want to taste as many Japanese tasty good delicious things as possible. So that's 100% gonna happen. So buckle up, kids. We're going to Japan. It's gonna be great. Hope you love it. Ta-da! Obligatory dog. I realized there was no dog in this video. So now, here is dog. Staring at the camera. He's doing a terrible job. He gets distracted by all the things. He likes to look into the closet when the sun comes out and he's like, are there shiny things happening? He'll chase flashlights. He'll chase reflections off earrings. If it's on the wall, he'll go after it. And then he gets distracted by sounds down the hall. Is someone opening a package? Is there lice involved? Who knows? He's so cute.